create a library in SAS, you can use this code syntax lib name, and then you can assign the name of the library. So in this case I am using project 1 as the name, and then you can define the location. Right now I am using desktop to create my library, but you can decide any other locations like desktop, and then any folder. Let's say the name of the folder is new folder, and then once you run this code, your library would be assigned. So in this case, if I run this, since I don't have new folder on my desktop, it should show some error, like it is showing the library project 1 does not exist, because new folder, I don't have any folder name, a new folder on my desktop. So if I run this will create a library, and it is showing here the library project 1 was successfully assigned as follows. So this is how you create library in SAS. So to create a manual data set, you use this syntax. So input like what variables you want to include in the data set. So like year, name, ID, revenue, asset, or whatever variable you want to include, you can use them. And then data lines, and then you can write the manual numbers by yourself. So the first one is the year, like year 2000, 2001, and so on. And then here it is name, second variable goes to name, third one to ID, fourth to revenue, and fifth to the assets. Here I'm writing this sign after name. So it indicates SAS that this is a character variable. So at the end of the character variable you have to write this symbol, otherwise SAS would not take that as a character variable. And then like here 2000, 2001, 2, 3, and 4, and so on. And once you run this statement, this syntax, this codes, the data set with name new would be created. Run this, and it is showing that new has 15 observations and 5 variables. So it has 5 variables and then 15 observations, and you can see this data set in the work file here. New, this is the data set that you created, this is here. And then how to print the data set. So the name of this data set was is new, and if you want to print this new data set, you can print like this. So print data set, you can go here and then proc print data equals to new, and if you run this statement, your data set will be printed out like this. So this is how you print your data set. The next one is to create a dataset with random observations. So in step 2 we created a data set with manual observations, but if you want to create a dataset with random observation, you can create as well. So let's say a data, you can name it as a ran observations or random observation. Random observation, and then you have to use a do statement here. So do I equals to 1 to 20, or like how many observations you want. So in this case I'm going to use 20 observations, and then C is the data set, or you can name as what you want to use. You can use any variable, let's say date ratio or whatever you want. So date ratio equals to ran uni, this is the syntax that you use, and then output, and then end. So this is how you create a random variable. So if you run this code, run here, it shows the observations, random observation of 20 observations are created, and you can go to this work file and you can see this, there is the random observation, and if you click this, you can see date ratio of number 20 observations are created. So, and if you want to add some additional variable here, let's say date ratio, and then you can say date equals to something, let's say for example, and then ran uni use 8, and then close. So now in this data set random observation, you will have two variables, date ratio and date, and they are randomly assigned. and even you can multiply by 100 to or 1000, whatever you want. If you multiply by 100, then your value would be something like this. So rand observation, if you go, you can see, look, if you multiply by numbers, so this will be your 2-digit numbers, right? Similarly, if you want to multiply this by 100, 10,000, then your observation in date would be uh, like this. So it is like 79,000 or something like that. So this is how you can, so in this dataset name random observation, you have two variables, that is date ratio and date, and then the variables are randomly assigned, and this is how you assign your random variable. And if you want to print this statement, again you can use proc print data equals to, you want to print this data, so just copy and paste here, and then you can run this statement, and if you run this, your observation will be printed out like this. So I equals to 1 2, so there is 20 observations with two different variables. In next, so here you have created a random variable random observation, and if you want to assign this random observation in a new database, so let's say a new database is new ran, you can say a name, and if you want to assign this random observation, this one under the new ran, you can use this syntax. So that a new ran, this would be your new dataset, and set, you can set this one random variable, say random observations. So that means in new dataset you are going to set this random observation, and if you run this statement, you can see in the work file there is a new ran dataset, and under new ran dataset this is assigned. So this is how you assign a dataset and existing dataset in new dataset. Thanks for watching the video.